obviously going to go very, very wrong
Oh,
in this brave new world. However, what I would suspect is
Mhm.
that he goes and he spends time in his dream world. And could it be that that is some kind of like parallel to people spending way too much time in World of Warcraft or something like that,
That's what I was getting at. Yeah,
rather than in the real world? Could
because
there be some kind of message here? And I think, and Paul, you could be completely right, but this is the thing with when you have like a 10 episode series. We are 3 episodes in so far. 2 more episodes have been sent to review, or maybe it's 8 episodes. 2 more episodes have been sent to reviewers, and the last 3 episodes haven't been seen by anyone because they completely change and upend everything, apparently. But I think
he
that
killed his
there is
brother.
a reason for why he's doing everything that he's done so far that we cannot begin to guess. Well, we can guess, but we cannot make any informed speculation on exactly what is going to happen. So I think it's a little bit premature to say, why are we doing this? Why are we not doing that? And I get that you want like procedural TV, but that's not what this is.
Well,
And
I'm looking to be entertained each episode.
Yes.
yes.
So let's ignore the procedural nature of it.
Yes,
I
and
just want to be
that I agree with. The
entertained.
last episode, that was a total bore.
Right.
But hopefully, everything we are seeing right now is going to lead to an incredible payoff, which makes all the wait worth it.
The
And
bus is coming,
hopefully
guys.
that
We swear, the bus is coming.
yeah. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Let's just hope that that light is not a train coming to meet us. But that's what I mean. Like, I agree with all your criticism. And just like pointing out, I think that there may be more to what's happening on screen than what we're seeing, and I'm waiting to defer judgment. And
Right,
if
but that's
you are
like saying
right,
that's like saying she has a nice personality.
true, and then we'll see later on if that
See-
personality can carry through everything else.
here's where you probably would have rather had me be on and seen last week's episode with you, Paul, because I would have been in more agreements. Because like in this week's episode, everything picked back up again.
Yeah.
Right. See, that's
Sure.
where I don't see. I mean, I see some of your complaints. I agree with a lot of your complaints. And I mean, I guess I don't know if you just wanted a different show than what you got in some cases.
No, I'm not pre-writing this in my brain. All
Okay.
I'm just people have a problem. It's set up. They created a universe, and now he made it up. Now he's made another universe. I
Well,
mean,
'cause-
I will. My in some ways, my reference is Wednesday. Wednesday, and Paulie already disagrees with me. Is in some ways a story mess. It has got so many stories, so many threads that they suddenly drop and they don't do anything with, or maybe they'll pick it up later. But the world building is so good, the characters are so well done, the acting and the cast is so neat. I kind of don't care because they're at least staying within the world that they created. In some ways, whereas Peacemaker, let's just make a completely different world and have to rebuild that world on your behalf. And I just find it annoying.
Oh, here's the thing, and this is where I think, like, he's not going to stay in this world, right? We know this.
For
like,
sure.
You made it.
know,
You made the
yes.
point yourself. Like,
Yeah.
the reason he is the peacemaker that he is because he lost his brother and who his father is, right? Like, those are the two main key elements. And because neither of those things are part of this universe that he's bouncing into in his fantasy land, as Andre put it, and I agree with him in that, is that in that world, that peacemaker is a piece of shit. Right, like even though the world loves him, he's a complete and utter piece of shit from what we've known.
Yeah, that's the irony.
Yeah, that's the irony of it all. And he's going to see through his actions in that world how bad he was there. He's going to start to really kind of realize who he really is and how he wants to change. So it's this whole thing he's doing now, and he's going to have to come back and apply that to the.
So
his
if
real
that's
world.
the case, then there's a certain amount of satisfaction. I think there's something to be said for him learning his lessons in this false world, let's call it, that he comes back. But I don't know then, because nothing has been set up in the real world like a case or a job that he's blown, that he can now come back and use the insights that he learned from being in this alternate universe to come back and finally actually execute on this job.
Here's
in the
where
way
the
that it
speculation.
should. There's no job. He's not doing anything.
Well, here's the
in
job,
press
Paul,
release.
and this is where I think you're missing what I think Andre and I are
okay.
saying. The job is going to be he's going to have to figure out how to get Rick Flag not to fucking kill him. And not only that, he's going to have to figure out how to get Hardcore to love him. Like, that's the two things that he's going to have to
Yeah, but
figure
Rick
out.
Flag hasn't done anything to him yet. We're 3 episodes in, and it's just been hinted at. The whole season
Are
should
you
have
kidding?
been Rick Flag Sr.
He's attacked him like 3 times now with Tim Meadows.
He's
What?
attacked the house.
He
They've
attacked the
been going
house.
yeah, but they were going after him though. Just 'cause he wasn't there because he was in the other
Okay.
dimension,
Well, anyway, hold on.
and that's where the whole duck thing came in. Yeah,
Why do we need to reprove to ourselves that Peacemaker's origins are his father and his brother?
don't.
We already did that in the first season. He stood up to his father. He defeated his father. He came to terms somewhat with his brother's death.
That was great.
That was all happening in the first season. Why do we need to revisit? We don't need to be proven to us again that Peacemaker needs to learn from his mistakes or to deal with his trauma. We already did that. This is just repetition. It should be the thing that he has not had to deal with directly is the consequences of killing Rick Flag Jr. And that's what this whole season should be, reconciling, violently or otherwise, with Rick Flag Sr. But so far, now we're going off into La La Land, where we're having to relearn that Peacemaker has to learn from his mistakes, from his doppelganger that was a bad guy. It just seems like a waste of time and repetition.
Interesting. What an interesting.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what they do with it when we get so far. And it could be that you're right. And if you're right, I'll be the very first to admit it. I will say that. So I absolutely adore season 1 of Peacemaker. One of my favorite series of all time. So far, this ain't up there with it. Like these last few weeks, it's Dexter. I've been looking forward to watching.
You know what?
That, by the way, was fantastic.
I would have loved it if the Justice Gang actually brought him on board. They went out on a few sorties, and he was wiping people out against their wishes. Just give me and that went bad. Like, oh, dude, like I would have loved to have seen him fighting next to Hawk Girl and Green Lantern and be a whirlwind of death. That would have been funny.
Apparently, James Gunn on Threads is saying that this is a prequel to Superman Man of Tomorrow.
Oh,
well, that's kind of how chronology works.
I know, but that's how he's promoting it.
This is what I've been. No, I'm serious. For 5 seconds, can I take a second to fucking just ramp out this for a
He's
second?
also saying it's not a Superman sequel. So just
Okay, so he's officially said that. Well, guess what? All these things are in chronological order. Like it's not like one is like a sequel to the other one. I guess like in the sense of like a part 2, perhaps.
Yeah.
Like so. Like everybody's making such a big deal out of this supposedly being a quote unquote prequel. I'm like, yeah, that's how chronology works. Something comes out in order, right? But there's nothing that where I've ever seen James Gunn say you have to fucking see Peacemaker to see Man of Tomorrow or Supergirl. See, this is where I think people are filling in blanks that he has never said. And there's nothing in this show that I've seen so far that has led me to believe that is going to probably lead into Supergirl. I think it's going to have nothing to do with it. And I think anything that you've seen in Superman has very little to nothing to do with the show. You could have gone into this blind without seeing Superman and been fine.
Yeah, but calling it a prequel implies that it is at least required watching to an extent. There's like,
is he going out there and telling you have to see this shit? Like
no,
Disney,
Tom. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and saying you have to watch this.
No,
but
I know, but
if you're advertising this thing as intricately entwined with the universe of Superman, and you advertise Peacemaker right after Superman comes out, and you say Peacemaker season 2 is a prequel to Superman 2, he's heavily saying that it would be worth your while to watch this in order to be prepared for what's coming next.
Let me rephrase this then. The point I'm making is people are like, he's implying that kids should be watching this. At no point have I ever seen him say that this show is for kids and you should let your kids watch this. And you have to see this to know what's going to happen in the next piece of the franchise. See, that's the difference between this and Disney, to where when people walked into Multiverse of Madness thinking it was going to be a fucking sequel to Doctor Strange and realized it was a fucking sequel to WandaVision.
Yeah. They thought
That's-
it was Spider-Man
or Spider-Man Homecoming 2, whatever you want to call it. Like at that point, that's when the Marvel Universe got broke. And I think I at least would hope that James Gunn is smart enough to realize that's what broke the fucking Marvel Universe. And he has said things close to that, right? You can't make these shows required homework. That is a given. That has been one of those things that has been known since S.H.I.E.L.D., and they forgot that with the MCU. Is yes, these shows can be affected by the movies, but at no point should these shows ever affect the movies. As long as they stay with that, that's cool and that's fine. And I don't care how R-rated they get in the shows, because as far as I'm concerned, it's not James Gunn going out there and saying, look, kids, you got to watch Peacemaker to understand what's going to happen in Superman, and we don't know what rating even Supergirl is going to be yet.
I think I would appreciate it if James Gunn actually came out and said, I know we had a lot of families that went to see Superman. Now, Peacemaker is probably not family viewing. I wouldn't mind if he implied that. I think, as a matter of fact, that would be beneficial. It would.
I think that's almost as implied as half the other shit that everybody's putting onto this stuff, I guess.
I do see the point though, because I'm seeing a lot of reactions to Peacemaker, especially with the gangbang scenes and the explicit nudity and stuff like that. I'm all for bringing back the bush and everything, but I also think I see your point there, and no, I agree with Tom points in that this is extremely unlikely to be required watching.
Yeah.
But it also, and to be fair, like some of the cast have gone out and said this is not for kids.
Yes.
And the guy playing, what's his friend, the geeky friend, like a brain fart, right? Anyway, the actor behind that, he even came out and said he's worried that kids are going to watch this by accident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the dynamic that's different here is that
Vigilante, yes.
Yeah, the Suicide Squad was the lead-in to Peacemaker season 1, whereas Superman is the direct lead-in to Peacemaker season 2. You have a movie that was R-rated to begin with, so the expectation is it's going to be more of that. But then you have Superman coming up, and it's a family film, relatively speaking. And then Peacemaker season 2 is advertised right after that. Oh yeah, and then it goes, the Justice Gang shows up and everything else. So it feels like it's supposed to be moving on with the same audience, except it's not. It's not supposed to, but it still is.
What does Gunn say here? I mean, I'm reading what you're showing, but
yeah, he said it's not for kids on an interview with Rainn Wilson before the show started. Wilson asked how HBO allowed frequent use of the word cunt and full on. I don't know what the fuck word this is supposed to be.
Orgy.
Maybe orgy. Oh, that even features dancing penises. He said because it's literally literally my jaw dropped to the fucking floor. Gunn laughed and replied, "Listen, we wanted to make it real. I'm not worried about the use of the C word or the orgy in the first episode. I think we're just letting people know, hey, this is a wild ride that you're in for this whole season, and this is kind of craziness you're going to see." There you go.
Someone mentioned that in the second episode there was a woman who showed up as part of the orgy and kind of explained why they were all there, and I missed it. It went.
I never.
They all, because he invited some people over, and then he talks to that one chick again. I think it's the same one he talks to in the third episode. If I remember right. I'd have to go back and rewatch it, Paul. Yeah, because he goes, "Can you get these people out of here for me?" Or is the second episode? Whatever.
That's the second episode.
That's the second episode.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's her because I watched the two together today.
Yeah, I just didn't understand the impetus of you know what? If he picked up the phone call and went Uber orgies, and then I would get it, like something. I mean, I didn't know why those people.
Well, we don't need to I mean, he's Peacemaker. You can get any woman he wants at any time.
The point of this is something he does often, right? Because he's talked about this in season 1 and shit too.
That was weird in episode 1 where he
look, Paul. You don't try to understand the sexual community, okay?
Well, fine. You get coked out and suddenly nude people show up at your house.
There's websites for this shit, okay? I'm just going to say that.
But he didn't. I would have liked to have seen him at least go onto a website.
You want to know how?
You would like to see the procedure. How?
Yes, he wants to know how to get an orgy at. Okay,
that's what I
send information to Paul Chetto.
The other thing too is John Cena is just so ugly. His face is made of plaster seed.
He's a homely dude. Yeah,
it's just. Yeah. Well, again, I would assume that Gunn, being an actual reader of comics, knows that at no time are you able to introduce new readers to the history of. You don't waste your time introducing new readers to the characters in your comics. You can't, right?
Mhm.
You can't put a previously seen. If Iron Man is 10 years in and your first comic is 10 years later, you need to be able to understand what Iron Man is about within the bounds of that issue that you're reading to some degree. You should be able to at least guess some aspects of his background. Well, he's wearing a suit of armor, that I get, and it's got rockets and pulsar beams and shit like that. And I think if Gunn goes along that path of not having to understand the history, that's proper comic books, right?
Well, you could use the trailer for that, kind of like at the old Bronze Age comics. At the top of the very first page, there was like a 2-sentence synopsis of Peter Parker was a student who was bitten by a
Mhm.
a little thing at the beginning, kind of like the Incredible Hulk did, the TV show. That nice 60-second.
Yeah, they just told his whole origin in the intro. Yeah.
Right.
You can do that on a TV show. You've got time.
can't-
Come
yeah,
and listen
you
to
can
a
do
story
that on
about
a
a
TV
man
show,
named
yeah.
Jed, a poor mountaineer, barely kept his family fed.
Exactly.
Gilligan's Island's the best example, but you
Well, you just gave 3 great examples, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's the thing. And look, you are correct. That's like the formal Marvel thing where you don't want to bog down the story with telling an origin story
Mhm.
every damn time, and that's fair. And hopefully, I do see that aspect of that in Gunn's universe, and I like that. There are things I dislike. Like, I agree with you guys. There's some issues here that he has to smooth out or iron out here, and hopefully he does, because otherwise this is not going to live long, and we can see that coming from a mile away.
yeah.
But we need to see what the folks in the chat are talking about.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Yeah.
Soul Nightmare says, I love the theory that Peacemaker is on Earth X. There's only white people there, and they use the German pronunciation Bluthaven. I never even paid
Bluthaven.
attention that there was only white people there. But
I didn't
okay.
know that was what Earth X was about. I thought it was just a future.
No
dystopian.
wonder his dad is a superhero there. See, that's maybe the twist at the end, is that we find out. Yeah.
Oh, that would be one hell of a twist if
Well, we haven't
if
seen his
that
dad in
amazing
action.
universe is Yahtzee Land.
Yeah. And then DS Ford has been a member for 46 freaking months. Holy crap. I wish I had the claps to do that. Not the clap,
Yeah,
the
the
claps.
clap. What?
Oh, no.
The applause,
Clapper.
yeah.
The
The
applause. Thank
Yeah.
you. The clapper. Callum Lyle says, how do you deal with the death threats from shippers all week over ship from a cartoon you disagree with? If there's a hell, I hope they go there. Well, I don't know which cartoon you're talking about, but oh God, shippers are the worst. Okay, let me tell you a little story about shippers.
Uh-oh.
I was trying to figure out why the
So
fuck.
before you do there, start with explaining to those who may not know what the hell a shipper is.
Okay,
That's
so
Amazon
something I had to learn.
It's nothing to do with Amazon. Sorry, Chris. What a shipper is a community of these queerdos who love to take fake characters, right, like fictional characters, and put them in sexual relationships.
Like Kylo Ren and Rey,
That's one of the
I
more
see.
great. But,
and Nightcrawler.
but they
Well,
get even
the-
weirder.
And Spock.
Kirk. It used to be called Slash Fic because it was Kirk /
Yes.
Spock, and then it was all
Yes.
called Slash Fic back in the day.
And then the term became shippers because your relationship, you're putting them in a relationship.
Mhm.
But here's one of the weirdest stories about these shippers. The Kylo Rens and shit, that shit's nothing, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out, there was this huge rage boner against It Chapter 2 when it came out from the gay community and couldn't figure it out. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And I did some digging. You know what it would all boil down to? The gay shippers had shipped the Babadook with Pennywise, and they found it a huge problem that Pennywise killed a gay person in the beginning of chapter 2. I'm like, did you motherfuckers fail to read the novel that's been around for 40 fucking years?
Yeah.
That is literally the first chapter in the book.
That's actually a perfect example of these fake fans that just show up and start disrupting everything, and they have no idea what
Yes.
you're talking about.
And not only that,
Babadook.
he's a fucking alien. He's an alien. He's an entity. He's not even a person.
Yeah.
The Babadook is a fucking ghost or whatever the fuck it is.
Demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are how fucking and they get so insane over stupid bullshit. So let me tell you, Callum, I feel your pain. All you could do is just switch them off. I think they're all bite and no bark, or all bark and no bite. But at the end of the day, I mean, these are the same fucking people that, like the Kylo Ren shit and all the other stuff. Like, yeah, they're insane. They're
They are the ones
insane.
that Disney in particular have been targeting.
Exactly. That's what Acolyte was all about.
Shippers are part of their audience. I mean, can you just imagine if an alternate universe in like in the 80s, where you had like the people who were doing slash fiction with like Kirk and Spock, and said, we're going to make now Star Trek to appeal specifically to them because we think that's such a huge market with lots and lots of money, because they do all this fan fiction and stuff like that. And you've even had like other people in Disney say that, oh, the Acolyte is a huge hit. There's like so much fan
That's
fiction
what I
being
maintained,
made
right?
from the shippers.
Yep.
That's what I kept saying. This show is for the shippers.
Yeah.
That's all that's left in Star Wars now are those
That's
Kylo
Doctor
Ren.
Who now.
Yeah.
That's everything. It's just like all these IPs have gone towards the shippers. Meanwhile, Jeffrey Wright's crying about 3-year-old
Racism that didn't exist.
I know. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, and the shippers are the worst of them all because they're like the easiest to please with other, like, make your own crap. Get away from them.
It's like they're not attached to the canon,
No!
canonical versions. They're attached to their own daydreams, fever dreams
Yes.
about the character.
Well, you never know. You could turn that into $1 million franchise if you take some Twilight fanfic and turn it into 50 Shades of Grey. Which is what happened.
Reverse. Yeah,
That's what happened. You never know.
It is.
Yeah, and that's what I would. Go ahead, Paul.
I was just going to say that I just want to pick up on something that you had mentioned earlier about clapping. I just thought of a Zoom meeting with a bunch of seniors, and they clap and their lights go off at random because the clapper, they
Paul's just writing skits while we're on.
I'm
the
writing
show.
sketches while you guys are
I do
talking.
like that
yeah,
sketch.
that's
That is kind of
like-
funny.
I thought
I
that
was
would be
rather
hilarious.
thinking of like the various commies and stuff like that who can't even clap because the neurodivergent in the audience might be offended or something. So they have to like
Yes.
wave their hands and stuff.
So they have to snap or something or wiggle
Yeah,
their hands
snap.
jazz hand
Yeah.
style. Yeah.
Jazz-
But anyway, moving
Sorry.
on. I think that we have covered
yeah,
this
Callum.
super chat
Yeah.
adequately.
Thank you, Callum, and hopefully you get
I
through that.
used my joke as a transition to something.
So
Oh,
Darking
my
asks, "Is Peacemaker season 2 homework for Man of Tomorrow?" I don't
Oh,
think
it
so.
better not be.
I don't think it is at all. I don't. think
That would be a
That would be
mistake.
that would be terrible.
I think the bigger, if there's anything that's going to be homework for Man of Tomorrow, it'll probably be Supergirl. That's my guess.
Yes,
And even that
correct.
probably
I
only
agree.
have tangentially, maybe.
I agree with that completely. The thing that's going to happen, I think, is that the homework for a Man of Tomorrow is Superman and Supergirl. There you have your trilogy of movies that will work perfectly well together. But all of those will be referenced in Peacemaker. So Peacemaker basically is going to form all the connective tissue and the expanded universe. You can get like the kid-friendly version of the DC universe by watching the Superman movies, and you can get the full experience when you've come of age by watching Peacemaker.
And
Because
Clayface.
I've said this the whole time, and I stand by it more and more, that the DC universe is really the Peacemaker cinematic universe.
And I think Clayface is going to end up R-rated too. I have a feeling.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I think they're gonna actually do that R-rated, PG-13, R-rated, PG-13 game throughout. But again, I don't think that Gunn is stupid enough to make shit that is for kids and families, mix it with the adult stuff.
If he does, he deserves the backlash for it.
Yeah, in the actual films, right? Like, because I showed the article there. Again, I don't see any place where he's out there going, "Okay, kids, now when your parents aren't watching, go in and watch Peacemaker." Like that's the way some people are acting, and it's just getting weird. It's like
Yeah.
no.
I think Clayface is probably going to have a lot in common with Slim.
Isn't James Wan part of that? Or no, who is it I'm thinking of? Who's part of the Clayface thing? Trying to think.
I don't
The
know.
Clayface? Or
Yeah.
I expect the ghost dude from Netflix.
James Watkins is the director, but who's the I could have sworn there was
Mike Flanagan.
Mike
Flanagan,
Flanagan,
yeah.
that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
He was written by it's written by Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, so I think it'll be
thought
okay.
he was
It's-
replaced. I think he was replaced on
Was he?
Clayface, actually.
Well, there's a secondary writer of Hossein Amini, so maybe he still has credit on it.
and it is
but they-
based on the original animated Batman series
Yeah.
episode too. So
Oh, okay.
Well, I think it's going to have a lot of body horror like Slither.
yes,
Yeah.
I think. It
I mean,
will,
that's James Gunn's wheelhouse, honestly.
But anyhow, Jason Webster says now showing on Playboy TV, Peacemaker season 2.
Almost
Wow.
was.
Is Playboy TV even really a thing anymore?
He's joking, clearly.
No, seriously, is Playboy TV?
No
really?
idea.
I would have thought it'd been shut down by now. It's kind of useless in the age of the internet with porn. And then Callum Lyle says Supergirl will be True Grit in space. That's it. If you don't know Tom King, there's a reason. He's the most hated man in comics. I'm sure there's going to be some inspiration from a few different places, but I just keep reminding people Lobo is in this. So
Yeah, I'm worried to Callum's point. I'm a
Yeah.
little concerned about Tom King and sort of the comments that Gunn.
So
has
am I.
made.
It's bad optics that he's even
Yeah.
there.
I
Really
agree.
bad optics.
We'll see.
And to be fair, he was there, but many people have come and gone
Yep.
and been invited to leave. And we haven't really heard. Have we heard his name recently in conjunction
no.
with the DC universe?
No.
well, and all Tom King is like a consultant and I think an executive producer at most. Like he is not even getting writing credit, I think, on Supergirl outside of based on comic, which that they are pulling from. I don't even know if he's got that credit on there. I'd have
I
to go
don't
back
know,
and look.
but even so, just his name being brought up is bad for optics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
optics alone, right? Because I
Yeah.
think that they can distill it to something a little purer than what Tom King was doing. But it is based on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which Tom King wrote.
Right. We'll have to see how much they actually
Yeah.
take from it.
Yeah.
So
I am interested in Man of Tomorrow. Kind of the direction. It looks like it's going to be sort of a pairing of Luthor and Superman against another.
well,
foe.
there's another picture that he dropped where they're fighting, so I don't know.
Okay. But I also know there was if you haven't read Alan Moore's Superman storyline, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, I highly recommend it. It's from 1986. It's 2 issues. It's collected. It's out there, but it's Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. Really great story from Alan Moore.
I keep
Well-
thinking it's going to be starting out with them fighting each other, but then Brainiac shows up and they have to team up.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Me too.
Well, and and that's kind of where I've said before. I think Brainiac is already kind of part of the equation. We just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Because we saw the thing that says that the thing was faked in the on the TV now. We saw it on the movie and it was there before. It's not like Gunn changed it, but he's also mandating, oh, it's real. You got to watch what he's saying because he's saying the message is real. That doesn't mean that hasn't been altered in some way. It's real in the sense that it's a real message. Like that's the thing I get because like the rest of it's like, okay, something's weird here. And when she plugged into that system, the engineer in Superman the movie, something got into her. And I think Brainiac is already there. I think Brainiac has been a part of this since the beginning. He's been manipulating the whole thing. So we'll have to wait and see. So I think you guys are correct. I think it's going to start out as a Lex versus Superman movie, and then it's going to turn into because the rest of the guys are supposed to show up too by the end is kind of the rumor too, is like you'll end up getting Supergirl and all them in there too.
Yeah, I'd be
Gonna
shocked if they didn't.
Yeah. So it'll probably be Supergirl and Superman taking on Brainiac with Lex Luthor. I wouldn't be surprised.
Something like that.
Yeah. Anyhow, that being said, Soul Nightmare says, I think Portal shenanigans in Superman and Peacemaker will draw Brainiac's attention. The Collector of Worlds is coming to plunder the multiverse. Well, we don't even know if maybe we don't really know Supergirl's origin story in this version yet. See, there's a version of Supergirl, if you guys may not know, where the only reason she's alive is because Brainiac shrunk the city that she lived in.
Right.
So, I mean, it depends on which version of the story they use. So, Brainiac, like I said, and I like how in the original animated series from the 90s, they made Brainiac a major part of the origin story of Superman. And I hope that they kind of play that into this. And I love how he was kind of a part of the destruction of Krypton and all that kind of stuff. So, like, yeah, I think that Brainiac has been a very underutilized bad guy and a very good one for the DC universe. Is almost like an Avengers style event, Justice League. Exactly. Yeah. Because he could just shrink the entire planet and call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Jason Webster, who says, breaking news, John Cena apologizes in Mandarin and English for Peacemaker season 2.
Oh,
Hey-o. D. Bud Martin has been here for 52 months, one of the OGs. The mom says, been here, also been for 10 months, didn't say anything. Jason Webster says, breaking news, RDJ asked Marvel Films to get their shit together over Avengers Doomsday, or he'll split. More news at 6. If this was real, I'd fucking laugh.
yeah.
But he's one of the producers, so it's partially his ass on the line.
Yeah, honestly, I would actually be happy if that were to happen. You know, want to know why?
It would
Because
actually end
the
the Marvel universe.
No. I don't want to see Marvel end. I love Marvel. I want to see it get fixed and restored.
Yes.
Because we have heard a number of same thing with Disney. I don't want to see Disney come to an end. I don't want to see a near century-old institution come to an end because it was hijacked by lunatics and commies for the last few years. No, I want to see the nasty people rooted out, and not just an American, but a worldwide institution restored to what it once was. That's what I want. I don't want to see it end out of spite. And in the case of Marvel, what we've been hearing is rumors. And again, I stress rumors. I have no idea what the validity here is, but rumors that that there is some conflict between Ryan Reynolds and RDJ. And of course, when you have such a conflict, it's not just because someone said something nasty about the other's wife. That kind of rumors, that only happens when you have a larger conflict at play, which then expresses itself in personal conflicts. That's my thing. And what I heard before is that Team Ryan Reynolds actually have some influence over this movie as well. Now, if there really is such a conflict, and if there is any kind of truth to the rumor that RDJ is threatening to leave, and I've seen rumors to that effect, that says to me that the powers that be are increasingly deferring to Team Ryan Reynolds more so than RDJ. To me, that's the right decision. RDJ is not the savior of Marvel. He's the old king. He's the outgoing king. I don't know that anyone is going to accept him as Doctor Doom.
I don't know if necessarily Ryan Reynolds is the one they should be relying on either, because he's good for Deadpool. But you need, and I know, let's be real, the Marvel universe has sucked since James Gunn has not been part of the equation. Whatever you feel about the DC universe now because of him, that's irrelevant. The proof is in the pudding, or it was the pudding, or however you want to put it, the saying goes. Yeah. Because at this point, after Endgame, everything went to shit, and that's the last time, other than, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which most people will agree is a highlight, of the last few years, that sometimes gets mentioned in the same breath as No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine, mind you.
Yeah.
So, I don't think James Gunn's continued presence at Marvel, absent Perlmutter with Feige in charge, would have resulted in all that much great stuff.
You're not wrong, but at the same time, at least you had somebody with a cohesive idea. And this is where I say the same thing with J.J. Abrams ditching Star Wars after Force Awakens. He should have stuck with it for better or worse. Because even if the movies wouldn't have been great, they'd at least been a cohesive fucking trilogy. At that point, when you get to the Rise of Palpatine, the problem is you got the world's most expensive Twitter war between directors, because one says, well, fuck you, your movie sucked. No, you, fuck you, your movie sucked. And, and then they got to finally get to the movie because somehow Palpatine returned. It's like in this case, yes, I get it. Somehow Palpatine would have probably returned at some point. Yeah. But you need somebody, a leader. You need somebody with a vision, not somebody with a fucking, just like Kevin Feige, who's like, we're just going to make it up as we're going along. This isn't playing with fucking toys in the goddamn sandbox, Kevin. Right? Regardless if you don't like James Gunn's vision for DC, it's clearly a cohesive vision, right? Like, for better or worse.
Yeah, I just don't think that Feige would have tolerated having a second king in his kingdom, because that's what James Gunn would have had to become at some point.
Well, that he was going to be. He was going to be the guy who was going to be heading up the cosmic side of things, while Feige was supposed to be handling all the stupid multiverse shit.
Yeah, well,
and I agree with you in the sense that I think what would have happened is I think had he stuck on and stayed and done that, he would have showed Feige up crazily, and he still would have been ousted in some way, right? Like, because I think the cosmic side would have kicked the shit out of the fucking multiverse side, because everybody like, fuck this multiverse shit. We're gonna stay over here with the Guardians of the Galaxy universe, because that's really what it would have been, right? Let's be real.
We'll have to walk through Peacemaker's closet to find out what happened.
Unfortunately, you're right. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case. But on that note,
it's an interesting premise that maybe Ryan Reynolds is positioning himself to take things over at Disney.
I'd be very happy if he was.
The one thing that's interesting about him versus Feige is that it's clear that Reynolds wants to make movies that entertain people, whether it's The Proposal, Free Guy, and he's got a, let's say, youthful, quote unquote, more gameology view of the world and the people that are interested in watching movies versus Feige. Feige is on another planet that I don't understand. He's really not interested in movies in the classical sense, where, you know, we want to be entertained, and the width and breadth, and also Reynolds has got a wider range of popular products that he's made over time, right. And certainly with Deadpool and Wolverine, if he had, you know, full control of that movie, he certainly did a pretty good job of putting the pieces together.
Sure.
In that, and he's kind of got a hipster view of stuff. I mean, he wanted Robert Downey Jr. at the beginning of it interviewing Deadpool for I mean, he didn't want, not Robert Downey Jr., but his character
Tony Stark
to be interviewing him in that wonderfully horrible, painful interview that really makes fun of himself and his character, but getting Happy to be his substitute worked just as well. So the guy has a modern vision of things that Feige absolutely, he's not a hip is not the right word. Sorry to use the word hip, but I'm old. I can't.
It's true though, and I, you know, honestly, I think the studio itself would be better with Ryan Reynolds running the entire studio.
Oh, I agree.
Not just Marvel. And this is where I agree with you wholeheartedly, because you're right. He's somebody who's got Mint Mobile and all these other companies that he's part of. This is a guy where I believe you if you said he's got aspirations to run a studio someday. I'd believe it. I'd be like, oh yeah, he's the guy who clearly wants to do something like that, and he loves to have that kind of control, for better or worse.
He's a populist, though.
Yeah. So I think that you are correct, and it would be a better decision if Bob Iger were to step down and say, "Here, our new fucking CEO of Disney is Ryan fucking Reynolds."
I agree.
Yeah,
that would create some excitement.
Yeah, he would actually fix Disney and Fox. Yes,
it would.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, that's right. I hope they're watching.
I think he does have a future in that arena. I do honestly think that.
Well, just he's not just an actor. I mean, he does marketing. He does his booth stuff like that. He has his dude. He's a businessman.
Absolutely, he's a lot like Donald Trump.
Well, he is a billionaire,
also a populist.
Yeah.
Did that stuff with his girlfriend kind of blow over, Blake Lively?
Not quite yet.
But he's been kept mostly to the side. I mean, he's part of it. Yeah. But here's where I think he would be good as a mogul, because what he did was basically groom her to do what she did. Yeah. Because he supposedly has done the same thing on other places. And he has basically molded her in his image, from what it sounds like. Like, for better or worse, like, I've heard the guy's a fucking tyrant and a jerk to deal with. But I'll be the first to tell you, he knows how to make money. He's probably the most successful guy in Hollywood right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. He dated Scarlett Johansson.
Married her.
Yeah, married
Is that
her.
right? Yeah. You're right. He married her. He dated.
Isn't it ironic?
Alanis Morissette. Yeah.
You knew where I was going.
Yeah. I think he even kind of dated Charlize Theron and what's the girl from The Net? Sandra Bullock.
I know he did Sandra Bullock, I think, but I don't know about the other one. But yeah.
He's been
lived
around,
a charmed
basically.
Yeah.
life, a real charmed life.
You could say that again, yeah.
Well, he was a child actor.
Yep.
Grew up in Canada, of course. Paul knows.
BC.
Still.
Yeah, well,
And he came down here and he worked his way up through the ranks, playing shit like, in Waiting and Van Wilder and those kind of movies. And
Yep.
he became a leading. He's probably one of the last leading men to have been created in Hollywood.
And my point is exactly what you just mentioned, is that he went through the ranks. He knows how Hollywood works. He knows how you need to work your way into the system. This is not something Feige knows. Or has experienced.
Absolutely. And that's what's, really, I mean, I guess the argument would be just about anybody would probably do a better job than Kevin Feige at this point. But yeah, like that's the thing. And I think we're in agreement in the same spot where the whole ship needs a new leader, not just Marvel, but Disney in general. As Andre and I've stated for years, nothing's going to change until you root out the rot, right? You got to get rid of all these people, basically fire everybody, rehire the ones that actually do their jobs. And maybe Disney, Marvel, Star Wars have a chance, but until that happens, none of these things are going to have a chance. This is why I'm not even remotely excited for Tron Ares.
Yeah, I'm already seeing IMAX double feature promotions for October for that and Tron Legacy.
I'm so disappointed by the choice of score. I mean, like I like Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, but they can't hold a candle to Daft Punk. So yeah, just in that decision alone, the movie was screwed.
Well,
yeah.
By the way,
go ahead.
Speaking of Tron, I just finished watching Robert Myers-Burnett documentary on it. He directed
it's a great documentary. Yes,
really solid documentary. So
that came out in the early age of, or the golden age, I guess you'd call it now, DVDs, kids.
Yeah, that's a really well done documentary.
Yeah.
Well edited.
Well, he did the ones on Lord of the Rings and Superman Returns. All of his were amazing.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, those amazing Lord of the Rings box sets. That's Burnett right there.
It is.
That's called.
He still has
Making of Tron. That's what
he says. There's so much crap that he still has that has never seen the light of day from Lord of the Rings or Superman, and he doesn't know why. Like Peter Jackson hasn't turned around and said, "Let's do something with this stuff." He's like, "You could do an entire streaming series just on the making of the Lord of the Rings films of shit that's not even on the discs." Wow. Behind the scenes crap. Burnett says he's got just literally hours upon hours, maybe hundreds of hours of footage. I mean, you got to remember, they shot these movies over almost 3 years or whatever it was.
You know what? I never thought of it. I should have pitched Burnett for that TV sitcom idea, DVD extras, where you never see the movie. You make up the movie, and all you do is have the DVD extras.
There are some movies where the extras actually are more interesting than
that's actually the premise. That was my pitch. When I went to LA, I said, most people hate the movies. They love the DVD extras. So let's get rid of the movie. Just do the DVD extras.
But
there are plenty of movies that I bought for that.
Got rid of the extras. That's what they.
It's kind of like Lost in La Mancha. If you ever saw the making of the failed Terry Gilliam.
I haven't seen it. But,
it's great. It's amazing. It taught me so much. I mean, just as a sort of novice level about the Hollywood process and like essential elements of productions and things. Amazing documentary about a movie that never existed.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's partly Terry's fault too. He's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Callum Lyle says it was a great sequel series to Last Airbender, Legend of Korra, because they made two characters gay at the last minute, which had a lot of backlash.
But it wasn't racist backlash, at least.
No.
Yeah. And then David R. says, "Hey, Paul, Linville, George, North Carolina is the Grand Canyon of the East." Oh.
Uh-oh. There's competing Grand Canyons of the East.
Oh, gosh.
I will tell you when I get back, and we'll fight over it.
Good. There you go.
Arm wrestle.
Dave the Barbarian says, "I saw the trailer for the documentary on John Candy. I got a little misty-eyed watching it. He was one of me and my dad's favorite actors." Oh, he was a legend.
Yep. I went out drinking with him.
Yeah, I remember you told us a story about him a few times. And you're right. I think the documentary is really going to dive into some of the things you were saying, Paul. Because you had said that he just was he opened himself up too much, did too many favors,
Oh, yeah.
overworked. And I think that's going to be a big part of the documentary too.
Is Ryan Reynolds involved in that too?
He's the
He's
producer.
the producer. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Colin Hanks is the director. Tom Hanks'
Okay.
son.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one's going to be a
I
tough
like
one to get
me.
through.
I like me's the name of it.
Yeah, it's going to be a
Jim
tough one
Carrey's,
to get through.
Had a hard time at the beginning of his career to say no to things. He's
Mhm.
sweet, another very sweet guy.
Died
Yeah.
at 43 years.
It's fucking
old.
crazy.
Yeah.
Gosh.
A living legend for so long, and then he burnt out fast. It was it's crazy. Like Chris right after too. That was just a bam bam. Like
Marley. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah.
Only the good die young, my friend Billy once said.
Yeah. If you have not seen Uncle Buck, do yourself a favor.
Good
That's all I
movie.
have to say.
Great movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. What's your record for consecutive questions?
Best movie, Culkin.
It is. Oh God, he's fucking great in that. That scene was mostly improvised too.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
I guess that was just something Macaulay would do to people. Like he just walk around, and give them the 20 questions, like, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? Who are your kids? How many kids you got? Like just shit like that. So like John saw him doing that to John. John Hughes saw him doing it to John Candy. He's like, oh, that's in the fucking movie.
That's in the movie, yeah.
He's like, that's in the movie.
My wife and I constantly are quoting John Candy's brief appearance in Vacation. So Moose Out Front should have told you,
Park's closed, folks. Moose
Yeah,
out front
parts
should have
closed.
told
Sorry,
you.
parts closed. Moose Out Front should have told you.
That's not a real gun. That's not a real gun. That's a BB gun. It can barely break the skin.
We miss John Hughes.
Yes.
Oh, fuck both Johns. Oh man, big losses.
Gosh.
And something that's not a loss, we got DS40 who gifted 10 memberships. That's a game.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, sir. Thank you.
That's fantastic.
ActionCom has also been here for 24 months. He's the master of the time codes. Then we got Robert who says, Andre, it's my birthday wish. Wish me in your native tongue. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, yeah, cool, yeah. In my native tongue, we say "Gratulerer med dagen." I'll say that one more time. Gratulerer med dagen.
What did you do to that dog?
Yeah, dogging.
I ate the dog.
Oh my god.
It's actually funny. I saw some really vintage American cards over different European countries and stuff like that, with a real quick summary with how you say certain phrases written phonetically, and then it said how you say good day in Norwegian. It's basically said good dog, because that's what it sounds like in American. Yeah, but yeah, no, dog. That's how we say day.
What about dog days? How would you say that?
Hi-oh.
Oh, we wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, we'd have a different.
Never have
term
dog
entirely,
days
but-
of summer out there.
Yeah, but no. Our name for dog, like the animal, is hund.
Dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Hund the dog.
It was like day of dog. It
Happy
kind of
birthday.
translates to probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, Robert, thank you so much and happy birthday, buddy. Thanks for being here and celebrating your birthday with us. We appreciate that the donation. And then Kenneth LaRock says, hey, all. Well, hey, Kenneth LaRock for your 47 months membership message. And then Jesus Davila, a regular gifter here at the channel, gifting 5 more. Showing some love. Thank you so much. Jason Webster says Ryan Reynolds, through his company Maximum Effort Investments, is part of a consortium that owns 24% stake in the Alpine Formula One team. Oh yeah, he's got his fingers in all sorts of pies.
Yeah, football team.
Yep.
He's diverse.
Aviator Gin.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm not going to be surprised if in a few years when he decides, you know what, I'm not going to be acting, or at least only acting sporadically because I'm deciding I'm going to run a studio or I'm going to do this
Yep,
thing.
that's
or
my
that thing.
prediction.
I
You
wouldn't
heard
be
it here
surprised.
first. He
That's
wants to be a
Paula's
studio head.
Prediction that he stole from Tom. So
No,
there you
no,
go.
I said it first.
But Tom will tell another live stream or something. He might say, listen, I've already said this. And it'll be true because he said it. He said it right here.
I said it in utero.
Okay.
Ew.
Okay.
Gross.
Tom's a time traveler. He said it before that.
Now he's a Nirvana album. Let's just get past this. Was there anything else we needed to talk about for the week?
for the week? Oh, what?
I-
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I think it's been a relatively slow news week.
There has been some interesting things going on with I'm sure you guys saw Warner Brothers Discovery is suing Midjourney.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
what's this all about? So I haven't really been kept up to speed. So what do you two gentlemen who obviously know something about it, bring us up to speed? What is this thing about?
Well, they're suing Midjourney because all the users, whenever they're doing, I mean, they're basically using The Dark Knight. They're using every image from Warner Brothers library. It looks like they've got a nice comparison image over on the Hollywood Reporter, and of course the AI company, ChatGPT, Claude, all of them really are training on all the information that's out there on the web. So they're looking at Bugs Bunny stuff that's been created by Midjourney. They're looking at Batman stuff, but this is Warner Brothers, NBC Universal's involved.
Mm-hmm.
So they're actually using copyrighted material to
If you
train
go
the
to Hollywood
AI.
Reporter and look, I mean, it not just train it, but it has to. Like, there's a shot of Mick and or Rick and Morty that it just basically takes the image, and that's how AI works, right? It's making a duplicate or replicating what's out there. So it's not necessarily creating anything original. As particularly when someone says, "Hey, give me a shot of Batman beating up Jimmy
Right.
Carter and make it the Batman from Batman Begins." Well, obviously, it's going to source Batman Begins images starring Christian Bale and images of Jimmy Carter.
Well,
that
and
are
this is a problem that we've talked about in the past, where I know Script Doctor has coined the term simulated intelligence, which I think is a better term for a lot of what we're using now. Because yes, even though there may be some elements to it that do qualify it to be artificial intelligence in a point, at the end of the day, all it's really doing is just mimicking and repurposing and just basically taking all these elements and spitting them back out at you in a completely new way. And yeah, I mean, if they're using copyrighted images, I hate to break it to them, but they're breaking copyright law at this point, it seems like, because that's been the muddy area of this AI stuff. And Suno's facing the same thing with music right now too. And I don't know how to really make that argument. I mean, it's kind of hard to, because some of these things, I mean, you would think it's just like once things are certain out there, there's a certain element that could be considered quote unquote the public.
Well, it's a matter of imagining.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, imagine take the AI out of the situation. Imagine a human being is taking all this information and creating "quote unquote" original works that then they're then profiting off of in some way, shape, or form, or violating copyright. But Midjourney is just the pass through. It's the platform that people are able to do this, and at the same time, it's also storing all this information for being repurposed again in the future. So this was inevitable. Disney's on this, MSNBC or NBC Universal, and now Warner Brothers. This is going to be a landmark case one way or the other in starting down the road of copyright restrictions and AI data models.
Okay, because like just to kind of like give an idea of where at least I can kind of understand this and I'm coming from, I guess. So like you can look at it as like if you're copying a movie, like back in the day when you take two VCRs and you put it together and you copy the movie, that's copyright infringement. You just created a copy of an original material that you had no right to do. That's technically breaking the law. Now basically like the VCR itself didn't do that. All it did was enable me, because I had two of them, to do that. This is a little different. You have a tool that, as you said, is storing the information. It would be like if I was using that same VCR and it would store that movie and I could make infinite copies for the end of time. There's aspects to this I could see from my copyright knowledge that are very problematic, extremely problematic. And I've been saying that for a while. It's like, I mean, I get certain elements of these things should technically be public, but at the same time, what are you doing with them? And if it's not satire or parody or for personal use only, then you're looking at some very shaky
that's the
grounds.
gray that's the gray area, because Midjourney is making money off of these copyrighted images and information. But when a user does this stuff, if they have two stormtroopers running around eating cheeseburgers while fighting in World War II, Does that equate to copyright? Does that equate to fair use? This is, like I say, however this swings, whatever decisions they make on this, whether it's a full ruling or partial or whatever else, this is where we get into the morass of when do you draw the line between fair use and full stealing of assets? Like, well, I don't know what the answer to that question is. There is a
simple line, one simple line, and that is money involved?
Yes. Well, yeah, Midjourney's making money off of this through subscriptions and paid accounts and things. So they're obviously making money in that fashion. So Midjourney is the platform. Yes, Midjourney. Yeah, that's why Midjourney's in trouble here. The users themselves, maybe not, but Midjourney's making a profit off of the users' use of other people's material through their platform.
Right. You think about it, the only way I think they could get beyond the problem here, because there's so many public statements of, like Midjourney's director was like, oh, our people are just grabbing everything and throwing it into a big file, everything they can. So they're getting all this source material, but it's not much different than if Tom was an artist and he just drew everything that he had watched. If he drew pictures of all these different movies, Gremlins, Jaws, you name it, right? Anything that entertained him, and he drew actual scenes straight from the movie, and he was selling those pages to people out there. I think he could get away with that because it's just stuff from his memory, and he's just selling it user to user. And if they're able to somehow reach that singularity where AI becomes sentient, which I still don't think it's ever going to get there, even though all the science fiction movies say it will, then you could make an argument that this is just an entity that's replicating or producing images from its memory banks.
I have a prediction. I think that the AI is not going anywhere. It's inevitable. I think the only thing the companies can do, entertainment companies or elsewise, is to create authorized, licensed databases of information for AI models to draw from. And if you're not drawing from those, then they can sue you into the dirt. Because I don't think they can avoid it for much longer, in that it's just going to happen. So they might as well try to market it by selling bulk data of their own in a way, paying clients.
It's kind of like a look. They should have found a way to sell the tool separately from everything else. So like, this is kind of where I was bringing in the VCR analogy in here, because yes, the VCR enabled you to do this illegal thing, but the VCR is not built to do this illegal thing naturally, right? Like you have to combine two VCRs to do that, right? Like it's the same kind of thing here, only in concept, only in a sense of, if I bought Midjourney myself as a personal like thing, I go into a store, I buy this CD-ROM pack or whatever, how you do it now, download whatever. As long as it has no access to the internet, can't pull anything else in, whatever I feed it as a private person, that's on me then. Yeah. Right. See, this is where Midjourney stepped in it. They have let themselves continue to be a part of this thing. It's almost like Napster. Yeah. This has now become more like Napster than it is the other analogy, like I'm saying, because in a sense, you have opened up this world of, it's not a personal thing anymore. You're sharing it with so many people. Yeah, there's as long as nobody's making money, then you could kind of argue certain points of it, but at the same time, there's people losing money. But that's when shit also matters.
There's also an issue with and I'm bringing this up as an example. There's also an issue with the person who is making the request, not just Midjourney. So this is a good friend of mine, Yuri Deutsch. He did this photo, I don't know, 30 years ago. He loved these kinds of toys with people photos. So a company in Australia redid this photo with a different woman, a different fish, different kind of fish, everything. Yuri successfully sued them because Yuri was the first and only person to ever do this photo. It was recognizably his. So if you go onto Midjourney and go, can you have a woman in a bathing cap being kissed by a fish? You could get sued by Yuri. He owns this idea. Yeah. So we've got a far bigger idea, but a far bigger problem than, and so obviously we know that Warner Brothers owns many different variation looks of Batman and Superman, all these things. You can get into trouble because you've picked the wrong variation with regardless of the fact that you think you've come up with something original. So, anyways, you can.
No, and Paul, you're
take
making a
this
great
down.
point, because this is exactly the problem that people faced with the Mickey Mouse thing and are going to face in the next few years when it comes
Isn't
to
this a great
Superman
picture, by the
and
way?
Batman. Yeah, it is actually. I think I've seen it before, which is
Oh
kind of
yeah,
ironic.
it's
Very
historic.
world famous, like you said.
Yeah.
But like I think that's going to be a bigger problem going forward, because when something becomes public domain, only certain elements usually do. People don't really
right.
pay attention to this shit
Or versions.
really well.
Or versions.
Yeah,
I
same
think
thing.
you're onto
Yeah.
something, Tom. I think what these studios ought to be able to do is license their libraries to,
It's the smartest thing to do.
or develop their own. Could you imagine? Because what they're doing, they're arguing in this Hollywood Reporter article that they're losing sales of movie posters and all kinds of different things. And I'm thinking, yeah, but I don't think anybody that would buy a movie poster cares about making a Valentine card with Darth Vader, right? So, on AI, which of course already exists. But
Well,
Lucasfilm could have its
Yeah.
own little AI Star Wars generator, make your, have
That's
fun with our
interesting.
stuff. The
Well,
problem
that's
with
what I've
that is-
said. Yeah.
Well, the problem with that is, though, they're going to restrict users from doing certain shipping elements, you might say,
Absolutely.
you
But that's
so-
where the control element comes in, and that's where they have control over their copyright.
Yeah.
And this is where I've said that this tool is has a lot of great future use to it, but the studios need to wrangle this shit in now,
Yeah.
right? Like I've said, the future is you can, scan your kid's face and voice on your phone, and then instantly they can watch Star Wars where they're Luke Skywalker,
Yep.
and it sounds and looks just like them.
Yep.
Right. And you can even start to manipulate or change the movies within reason, as long as, like you said, that's what they got to do. They got to get involved themselves, have their own version, sell off whatever they do, but it's licensed stuff to these other AI.
Think about what you just said, Tom. That's even going to be very Byzantine and difficult, because do you remember when what was that company out of Utah that was editing movies to make
This
them
is actually
Pureflix.
something I brought up. Pureflix is something I brought up, and that's where they
Yeah.
fucked up, because it's
the
copyright law.
studios could do it, but then you might have the directors making a stink about
That's an
it, right?
issue. But
Yeah.
see, that's where the studios, what they did is, in their response to that Cleanflix, even though they sued them, there was a few times, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, they went and put out family-friendly versions of a few films.
Yeah, it was smart. Yeah.
They put out PG cut versions of like more popular,
Yep.
PG-13 type
Yep.
films that they could sell to families, and that was kind of a gimmick for a while there. And with modern digital technology, Cleanflix I think still exists, but they exist in a way that it doesn't impede on the copyright now.
Right.
But the problem with that is I can't remember exactly how it all went, but basically you'd buy the movie, you'd send it to them, they'd send you back a copy of that movie edited, right?
Yeah.
So, and the problem is like, even though they were another company making money off of the editing of doing it, had it been differently if the people themselves were doing it, right? Like that's the thing. So
That's
like you can personally do that in your home legally, and nobody can do shit to you. But Cleanflix, being a company that was benefiting off of the editing of these and altering of these films, which is specifically said in the FBI warning, like, do not alter these films in any way.
Yeah.
But this is in many ways no different from the challenge of fans of an IP spending a shit ton of effort and often money of creating something out of something they love, and they can't do anything with it. I mean, very similar to what Vic Mignogna dealt with Star Trek Continues.
Mhm.
He couldn't make money from that.
Right.
And there's going to, I recommend to everybody, don't piggyback off of existing IPs. Make your own stuff. Always make your own
Yeah.
stuff. So you own it. So we're going to get a lot of lazy people
Mhm.
making stuff using AI and having all the lawyers. I mean, these companies are going crazy. They're going to have to get a million lawyers, or at least get AI to go after the
But you're
AI.
going to need AI specific copyright lawyers. Like it's
Yeah,
going to get
That's-
real
it's going to
dicey.
be horrible, because it's going to be uncontrollable. Now, I don't know whether, I mean, YouTube already has got a little button that says, have you used AI
Mhm.
Yeah.
in your video? And Yeah, this is, to me, the worst part of this is a lot of untalented people are going to abuse the IP.
That's usually what happens, and we've seen that already with a lot of the, Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse and all that other crap. Yeah. But again, it's just one of those things. It's gonna have to be dealt with.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think Midjourney's going to try and find a way to probably settle their way out of this. And I think what Chris was suggesting is probably the most likely scenario in the end, is that they'll find a way to license all this stuff to Midjourney, but it's going to cost them a fucking fortune.
Oh my gosh. Imagine them having to go into their black box, whatever it is, in their AI databases and remove stuff that they don't get licenses for.
It's going to be a nightmare. It's going to shut the whole thing down.
It is. Yeah.
So anyhow, we'll see how that turns out. That's an interesting story that's happening in the background. And thank you for the filling in the blanks for me there, Chris, and Scribe on that.
Yeah.
And then we got MC in the house, gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, MC. We appreciate the support. And we do have a membership stream coming up here soon. I know Andre and I are way behind on that, but we're going to be changing our schedules as well. So keep that in mind, kids. So things are going to be changing and revamping a bit around here at Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark. So stay tuned for all that news. Dark King says, with 2 Australian, Rick and Morty sounds like an Irish law firm. Well, AI lawyers. Sonic X2 says, thoughts on Sydney Sweeney new ad backlash. So what new ad did she do now? I've been out of the loop.
Well, there was some fake controversy of her being a ballerina. There was a fake tweet complaining. I don't know how, if anybody knows or cares about that.
Fake. Yeah.
But yeah. I know that she was asked about the jeans ad while she was promoting her movie on the red carpet somewhere, and she's like, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about my movie. And like,
As
good
you
for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, she's my favorite right now, even though her movies are bombing right and left.
She, like John Candy, needs to learn how to say no to the right people. Exactly.
Yeah.
I got a question. I honestly have not seen her in anything that I can recall. Is she, I mean, I understand she's a great personality and all, and personalities, but is she at all a good actress? And I mean that sincerely. I don't know.
I guess she's been acting for like 20 years,
she's
and I'm
serviceable. She's perfectly serviceable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, though.
White
what
Lotus.
I will say that it's very easy to say that, oh, she needs to be better at choosing roles and stuff like that. And yeah, I get that to a point, but it's always a crapshoot and difficult when you have like 10 different scripts in front of you and wonder which one of these have the potential to work out and which don't. What I will say is that for all her movies that weren't anything much, she survived them all and went on to do bigger and better things, which tells me that those decisions were strategic. Never mind how the public responded to the movies. Those movies all built connections. Right,
Sydney got to eat
to give the more opportunities later, which all worked out to getting to the ads and the superstardom she has right now. So whatever went into making those decisions, overall, it worked like hell.
Yeah,
she did great as one of the Manson family members in Once Upon a Time, and
I was gonna say, I know
Squeaky.
I've seen her.
She can be Squeaky Frome.
I've seen her in a few things.
Ryan Reynolds, we were talking about earlier, he did a bunch of movies before, Blade 3.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So I think that's where she's at. I think she's on a good trajectory, and hopefully she keep her head on straight. That's all. Hopefully she won't fall into
the
drug or
rom-com
alcohol abuse. And yeah.
The rom-com she produced was a huge hit.
Yeah, that did very well.
And of course, Madam Web. I mean, come on.
Oh, Jason Webster says, I am taking a few generative and agnetic, if I'm saying that right, AI courses through Vanderbilt University. Well, good for you.
Yeah, cool.
Might very well be the future, my friend. Yeah. And then Goku McDuck sends in, holy shit, $500 Mexican dollars.
Wow, gracias.
Wow. Says, hello, I've wanted to suggest this ever since 3 years ago, but I've been busy with real life issues.
Thank you.
I know you guys are not into anime and manga, but could you try to get Swedish actor Bjorn Andersson? He is the reason Anime Pretty Boy exists. He hates it.
Okay.
That's a
We would
weird.
need to get we would need to get someone on the panel who knows who the hell he is and what he has done. But yeah, sure. Oh,
Yeah.
Shark of Paper, one of our writers over at Bleeding Fool. I mean, he might leave his avatar up the whole time, but he might be somebody. I'll ask him if he knows anything about this Bjorn Anderson.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I had a classmate named Bjorn Christensen. Is that close?
I
No.
listened to Bjork. So
Yeah.
No.
I'm not a
No.
Bjork fan.
sorry.
No.
Never said I was a fan.
And
Polly
that's
shows
what
up-
Because they have similar names, unfortunately, don't help much. But yeah.
Bork. And then Polly shows up at the last moment. How you doing, Polly?
Wow.
I'm great. Just wanted to give you some Sydney Sweeney news.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, go for it. Let's hear it.
So obviously the Ron Eden movie Eden was a huge bomb. It cost a lot of money, but her performance has been highly praised. Our own Rosa, who was not a Sydney Sweeney fan, going into the film, just like instantly became one because of her performance alone. So apparently her acting chops are really sharpened
Wow.
on Eden. So that's
Okay.
out. And then her
that was
movie
last
that she
right?
produced and she's
Yeah.
starring in, the Christy Martin story,
Yeah.
the female boxer from the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, she was involved in that?
She
That's her
produced-
baby. That's her
Wow.
executive production and the lead. That's debuting at the Toronto International Film Festival. So lots going on with her.
I think she has one more movie, doesn't she? Housemaid or something, I think. Comes out at Christmas. From
I don't know.
Titan?
I just know those
Okay.
those developments. I wanted to share with y'all. Sorry, I wasn't planning on coming on at all. But
I think I heard that though, Chris. The it's Paul Feig that directs that one.
Big,
isn't it?
yeah. I said fight.
Yeah, that's one of the reason I know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thriller, supposedly. Hopefully not a comedy.
No way he's making a thriller. Bullshit.
That's what I said.
Well, let's see how that works out. Maybe he'll surprise us all.
Maybe.
All I
Maybe.
can say is that Sydney Sweeney is not Tomb Raider.
9 now.
oh boy, oh boy.
She
True.
lost that
Yeah.
Yeah, who was it that got that? I saw the
From
caption.
from.
Well,
the,
isn't Phoebe Waller-Bridge still producing
Yes,
or running
yes,
that thing anyway?
yes,
So that would have
yes.
been a terrible matchup.
Running it into the
regardless.
ground.
Running into
Yeah.
ground. Yeah, exactly.
It's the it's the Game of Thrones girl.
Yeah.
Sophie Turner.
Sophie
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 Turner.
Turner.
Yes,
Cannot
Who?
stand that smug woman. Ugh.
she was in X-Men in that massive
Yes.
massive
Yes,
hit.
she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Massive.
She was Jean Grey.
Dark
What
She
Phoenix.
was.
I mean, why would you pick
the
her?
worst Jean Grey compared to Femke?
Come
Are
on.
Yes.
you telling me?
Come
Like,
on.
how do you
Femke wasn't very good either.
swap those two?
Preach, brother.
Massive.
Anyhow, let's
Yeah,
get the
thanks,
fuck out of
Chris,
here.
Yeah, that sounds
Femke
good.
was just
Yeah.
phenomenal in that.
She was.
Yeah, she was great.
That's every time a family member comes and sees me, that's what they say afterwards. Get the fuck out of here. I got trauma now.
Well-
Thanks, Tom.
Well, the thing is that you need to get back to your own stream with Cameron, which this stream redirects to.
Yes, later today. Man, I only have. So I'm telling you, I only have my camera. Later.
There we go.
Later today, we're going to be arguing on the latest episodes of Wednesday, and then on the casting of Sophie Turner. He's like in love with it. I'm like, no, absolutely not. And that's 3 p.m. Really appreciate the redirect. Thanks, Andre.
Oh, absolutely.
And hopefully we can chat on Sunday if I have time.
Yeah. I'd like to do a video with you where we
Sure.
record, and we're going to talk all Wednesday. Oh my God,
That's
it's
all
gonna
we'll
be
do.
great.
All Wednesday, all time.
Thought you said it was on Sunday.
Womp womp.
Never on a Sunday.
Jason Webster says, now we just need to see Sydney Sweeney perform ballet at American Eagle Jeans, Sleeping Beauty, The Nutcracker Suite, or Swan Lake.
That's right.
Actually,
So-
she'd be good for a Sleeping Beauty remake. That's one of the only ones they haven't done yet. Or they did Maleficent, but
Yes.
So she's a class act, right, Jason? And thanks for the super chat, guys. They try to ask her on the red carpet for that film I was telling you about.
Yeah, Chris.
About the controversy. And she's like, I'm not here to talk about jeans. I'm here to talk about my movie.
Yeah, we brought that up. Yeah.
Cruise.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm sorry.
No, we said it was no. We said that was a great answer, and we're glad.
Yeah, it's very Tom Cruise school of thought. I took that.
Well, post jumping on the couch, you're correct. Yes.
No. I mean, when somebody was asking about politics or
know,
something, he said,
I
"You know,
know.
we're here to promote the movie."
I know, but I just remind people of that shit.
That's coming back.
Yeah, it needs.
That's
to.
coming back. Actors are speaking out like that. It's like, you know what? Politics aside, movie. Let's talk about. That's what we're here for.
I'm here to pitch my movie or sell my movie,
not sell your paper. I'm here to sell my movie, not your newspaper.
And speaking of selling newspapers, Bleeding Fool is a website where you can get all your news and entertainment information from. Isn't that correct, Chris?
Yes, it's curated, of course. We only tell you the news we want you to know. But the head story right now is a little bit more about that Man of Tomorrow sequel. Right. I guess not sequel to Superman. That's on the top. Plus, we're talking about. I don't know if you guys know about DC Comics recently hiring Gretchen Felker Martin. It's a
terrible name.
But that's what he goes by. Yep, and he's anti
Felcher.
Jewish. Yeah, Gretchen Felker Martin. Big news over at DC Comics. Just another creep that they've hired. So, those are our top stories right now at Bleeding Fool. You can always find us at Bleeding Fool on X or me at Chris Brawley. And I hope everyone has an awesome weekend.
Glad to have you here. And Action Comics is Sydney Sweeney for Wicked for Good. I think the movie's already done shooting, but
it's a shame.
Yeah. And
what role would she be?
Yeah,
maybe with AI Midjourney we could recast.
There you go,
Sydney Sweeney.
I don't know. I still haven't watched the first part, but anyhow, Scribe, what you got going on?
Well, last night we did TED Excellence, and we took a look at a lady arguing that Europe needs to be less colorblind in its policies and procedures, which means they need to be more color conscious, which means she was arguing for racism. Except she didn't call it that, and I so often I see TEDx talkers who are effectively playing out their own mental neuroses on stage, like one people plays of their own insanity, and just the amount of contradiction this lady went through, trying to virtue signal it on the one hand, and yet advocating for people to assess other people as inherently disabled because of their race was just, it was something to behold. So
wait, now race is a disability?
According the way that this lady was assessing it, yes. We have to take
is whiteness a disability then?
No, that's something that doesn't need any help at all because
but we can't dance.
That's right.
It's true.
Either
I learned that from Phil Collins. But anyway, so so that was last night. I don't have anything planned for the weekend because I'll be off visiting my parents. But otherwise, yeah. So that's it. Hope everybody has a good Friday and weekend.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, Scribe. And Paul, what's going on Call Me Chattel or Paul?
You gotta bring this up. So I am doing an appalling news today, and the top news item is a woman backed into an industrial staircase.
Holy shit!
And rather than actually looking behind her, wondering what that scraping sound was, she drove something like 5 kilometers through Mississauga.
Oh, jeez!
And the only way she stopped was someone called the police. And they pulled her over.
Oh my God!
So this is the top news item: is 22-year-old woman backs into staircase and zooms off.
I see what's going on here. At first, I thought this was the Lizzo-mobile that she sold after she lost all that. Oh, sorry, Dave.
Anyway, so this is this is the wild stories only available on Appalling News.
Yay.
Brought to you by Paul Chatto.
Wow,
it's amazing.
Brought to you by Manfred's Pickled Beaks, the favorite snack for people who don't like Australian Marmite.
All right, Andre, anything else before we get out of here?
I saw Toxic Avenger yesterday, so I'll be.
I know Scribe has to leave us here soon, so
So yeah,
Gotta
no, I'm
go.
not reviewing it now. A review is coming, so stay tuned
Oh,
for
okay.
that.
All right. Jason Webster says, have Phoebe Waller-Bridge in the Jurassic World film, just as she starts her inane dribble, have her be eaten by a pack of hungry velociraptors.
She could be a velociraptor.
Yeah.
That's
she
what
is
AI
kind
is
of a
for.
velociraptor.
That's
Yeah,
what AI is
exactly.
for.
That's what AI is for.
Do that on
Yeah.
AI. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Goku McDuck sends in another 50 Mexican and says, Bjorn's staple movie is Lucino Villasanti's. Thank you. Morte Vincenza. I can't speak today. As
Today.
Tidizo. Fuck off, motherfucker. That role almost went
How
to
to read this?
Spanish
Damn.
singer Mogul Bose.
Miguel.
Miguel Bosé.
Mogul.
Miguel
I give
Miguel
up. I'm
Bosé.
done.
Even though I know that guy.
Mogul. It is Mogul.
Mogul Bose.
That's racist.
Mogul Bose.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Man, I'm glad you're not narrating my TV guide videos. I have a hard enough time.
I'm done. I'm tired. I've hardly had any sleep
No,
all week. I'm
No,
done.
I know what you've been doing. I don't feel
Well,
bad.
I
for
think
Tom.
that we at this point we do need to rename Studio Moguls into Studio Miguel's. Just
I
There
like
you
it.
go.
Love it. Yeah. Studio
Mogul
Miguel.
Bose.
Mogul Bose.
That's the
Anyways.
best. Best.
Anyway, so what'd you think of Toxic Avenger, Andre?
Quickly.
yeah, full review is coming. I thought it was extremely sanitized and shockingly woke.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, basically, you know who is the villain of this movie?
Lloyd Kaufman.
No, it's every
Oh.
single one on this panel and our sponsors.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, me?
What?
Wow.
So the Toxic Avengers battling toxic masculinity.
Yay.
Yeah, he's also battling little pharma, not like big pharma, but the kind of like pharma that wants you to be healthy and that wants you to basically be fit and strong and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're the villains of the movie.
Oh no. Peter Dinklage has turned out to be such a disappointment.
But he was really good in Dexter, though.
Okay.
I heard.
Did anybody
I heard he's
expect-
great in Dexter.
Did anybody
Yeah.
really expect much out of this, considering it's been unreleasable for like 3 years? Like nobody would even touch it during the woke time.
Even
Well,
though
I get why it's gotten so good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes after seeing it.
Ugh.
it's a shame.
We liked it a little better than you, but not much.
So it has like its moments, but
Yeah.
whoa, the messaging down.
Yeah, speaking of Uncle Buck, that's coming up next in my next TV guide,
That was
1990.
a very bad TV show.
It was terrible.
man.
Just terrible.
Ugh.
Okay, 1990. I'm working on that.
Oh, that was a hell of a year. Here we go.
It was a
I
hell
can't
of
wait
a
for that
year.
one. Hell of a year.
It was a hell of a year.
Holly.
He's
What?
a shameful promotion for Danny's
Danny
business.
Trejo's
Yeah, I don't get
tacos.
no money off this promotion. Shoot.
Earth
You
Force.
should get some free
Wow.
tacos at least.
At least.
I know, right?
Yeah, you should
You hear
send
that,
it-
Danny? Get him some free tacos.
Yeah,
Some
come on,
free
man.
tacos. Some free tacos. we'll bring over Miguel
He's
Mogul
like,
Bose.
Machete don't give out free tacos is the next text you get when we get off the show.
Movie Miguel. You'll be Movie Miguel. That's what you'll
Mogul.
be.
Mogul.
But you will
Mogul.
be Movie Miguel, the movie
Mogul
Miguel.
Bose.
Okay.
I don't
All right, let's get the fuck out of here. See you
Yeah.
guys later. Andre.
Bring on the koalas in the rain.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given.